In our Searching for Solutions series on Tucson's crime crisis, we're digging into some of the biggest issues facing Pima County. From homicides to drug dens, families are worried about their safety, all while law enforcement works to bring crime numbers down. Tonight, News 4 Tucson's Monica Garcia takes us on patrol with the Pima County Sheriff's Department to see how deputies are tackling reckless driving.
Speeding drivers, street racing, and dangerous street takeovers. Deputies say it's all fueling Tucson's crime crisis on the road. Tonight, we take you along for a ride along to see how they are cracking down and what solutions are on the table to keep families safe.
Probably Benson and Country Club area. See if we can get a couple speeders over there.
A sunny afternoon in Pima County. It doesn't take long before Deputy Matthew Knorr spots a speeder.
22 on 1 person, 5251 to 251.
He also has a placard over your license plate. You can't have anything covering your license plate in the state of Arizona. Hello, Deputy Knorr, Pima County Sheriff's Department. Just so you know, I do have a ride along with KVOA News. Okay, so you're doing 57 miles an hour, speed limit's 40.
With no recent violations, Knorr let him off with a warning.
I immediately knew why I pulled him over, accepted responsibility of his violation.
Minutes later, another car sped past, and this stop was different.
Do you know why I stopped you today?
I do not.
Okay, so there's several reasons. When you were coming down here on Country Club, you were doing 49 miles an hour. Okay, 49? The speed limit is 35 miles an hour.
Do you have a radar of it?
Yes, I do.
We're in the back of a patrol car where the deputy has just pulled someone over for speeding. He says the person was going 15 miles per hour over that speed limit. He says it wasn't even 2 months ago. The same person, the same vehicle was pulled over for going 30 miles over the speed limit.
That's what court's for, so.
These kinds of stops show why the Special Enforcement Team, or SET unit, exists.
And this allows the unit to be able to just focus on traffic enforcement. Okay, what are you digging around for in there?
Still, even with SET on the roads, speeding remains one of the biggest complaints in the county. In our Searching for Solutions series, we asked both Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos and Tucson Police Chief Chad Kazmar how their departments are handling the same challenge.
We constantly hear from neighborhoods that say, what? The number one problem, it's not burglaries, it's not robberies, it's speeding in my neighborhood.
Because what we hear is, why call? You're not going to come. So I can't promise you Oro Valley call response times because we are a major city police department.
Both agencies say staffing is still their number one issue.
But whenever I pull somebody from patrol to go to a special assignment, it means I have less officers to answer 911 calls for service.
Since there is an odor of marijuana coming out of the car and your eyes are a little bit bloodshot, they're a little bit bloodshot and watery, I'm going to have you step out of the vehicle.
With just 7 deputies, SET is dedicated solely to traffic, cracking down on speeders, DUI drivers, and illegal vehicle modifications.
3
hot spots across the county. Deputies say this is all part of Tucson's larger crime crisis, and SET is proof specialized solutions can work.
Probably close to 3 million cars out on the roadway every day in our community. I've got 10 deputies designated to try to handle that.
Deputies tell me traffic enforcement is more than writing tickets. It's about saving lives. And when it comes to street takeovers, they say the solutions have to be as aggressive as the problem itself. Searching for Solutions, Monica Garcia, News 4 Tucson.
And as we continue searching for solutions to the challenges.
Hey there, Sean. I'm standing along a busy Tucson road where the fentanyl crisis is evident, and tonight we're looking into what's being done to make these streets safer. Across Tucson, the calls for help keep coming. Reports of drug use and crime tied to fentanyl. For Josh Jacobson and the Tucson Crime Free Coalition, the crisis never lets up.
People are reporting crime issues in their neighborhoods, around their businesses, and right now it's just pretty much nonstop.
He says this isn't just a police problem, it's a community crisis, and finding solutions can't wait.
You're not talking about the fact that people's lives are being ruined, families are being torn apart, and you know who's profiting from all of this? The drug dealers.
Every day, signs of addiction play out in public spaces. Tucson Police Chief Chad Kazmar says people are right to ask tough questions.
I think what people, when you drive through town and you see 15 people loitering at a bus stop and maybe 1 or 2 of them committing criminal activities like smoking fentanyl, People want to know, why is that happening?
Kazmar says his officers are making arrests, a lot of them. Narcotics arrests are up more than 50% compared to the 5-year average. Misdemeanor arrests have doubled. In the past year, there have been more than 3,500 drug-related arrests.
We feel their frustration and we want them to feel safe in our city.
After years of concerted stalled progress, Mayor Regina Romero and city leaders rolled out a new solution, the Safe City Initiative. It focuses on enforcement, treatment, and prevention in what they call Tucson's next phase of the fentanyl crisis. The plan starts with smart enforcement, targeted patrols in high crime areas, and a new task force connecting police with recovery programs like the Pima County Transition Center, helping people leaving jail find treatment and break the cycle of addiction.
When we have folks who are coming out, is it better to get them into housing? Is it better to get them into services rather than walking through neighborhoods or perhaps going back into the washes?
At the county level, Sheriff Chris Nanos says his team is stepping up enforcement and tackling overdoses in the jail system. The federal HALT Fentanyl Act gives them more power to go after traffickers. But the fight can only go so far with limited staffing, and Nanos says the community must step up.
Public safety, because it's not always about crime for us. Sometimes it's just keeping our community safe. The staffing has tended to go down, yet that increase of the population continues to go up.
Even with a tighter border enforcement now slowing the flow of fentanyl, advocates say the rising street prices are driving more crime and violence across Tucson.
So the perception that officers aren't out there and making those contacts is just not happening, not true. It's just, it magnifies the scale of the problem.
And while Kazmar points to progress, others like Jacobson want tougher accountability, including jail time for people who repeatedly refuse treatment.
We need our local electeds, our politicians, to stop worrying about getting reelected. We need somebody to step up and say, you know what, come hell or high water, we've got to change Tucson, because what we are seeing on the streets is not working.
These so-called drug dens are everywhere. They're visible at bus stops, they're visible at homeless encampments, even out in the open on street corners. So tonight in our Searching for Solutions series, we look at the problems and the solutions being pushed to dismantle these places.
Tucson Crime Free Coalition's Josh Jacobson films the reality inside encampments and underpasses. His videos have received thousands of views. He says shining a light on crime is part of the solution because change starts with awareness.
People have stopped reporting crimes. We've known this has been going on for quite some time because people have reporting fatigue.
Well, I mean, right now everybody's on blues. And recently I've been dabbling in that. I don't really get the craze.
Addiction and crime collide at sites like the 100-acre Woods encampment, where neighbors say overdoses, violence, and drug trafficking spill into surrounding communities. Jacobson says the problem extends beyond camps.
The bus stops, they are drug dealing hubs. Because we are seeing crime, drugs, drug dealing, shoplifting, that's all going on the buses and around the bus stops. We've got drug paraphernalia.
His solution? Restore paid fares to cut down on loitering and step up enforcement around transit hubs. In August, the city of Tucson rejected a proposal to reimpose fares while they looked at other solutions to safety concerns.
We need to have people that can afford to pay for fares, pay for fares.
Other solutions focus on breaking the cycle of crime when people leave jail. The Pima County Transition Center next to the county jail offers food, hygiene kits, emergency housing, and treatment to those just released from custody.
So when we have folks who are coming out, is it better to get them into housing? Is it better to get them into services rather than walking through neighborhoods or perhaps going back into the washes?
Studies show formerly incarcerated individuals are nearly 10 times more likely to re-enter the cycle of crime without support.
We've got to keep putting money into programs like the Transition Center. We need the Transition Center to operate at a greater efficiency level, longer hours, more navigators.
At the state level, advocates are pushing Senate Bill 1257 as another solution to the crime crisis. Right now, people taken into custody while high can only be held for 24 hours, often not long enough to sober up. The bill would expand that window.
Searching for Solutions series, we look at how deputies are working to connect with young teens and why parents say the stakes couldn't be higher.
Last week on Tucson's South Side, it's scenes like these that law enforcement says are becoming far too common. Teen shooters on the rise, fueling Pima County's crime crisis.
Football, basketball, soccer.
For Tucson mother Elizabeth Nanes, the violence hits home. Her son, 18-year-old Daniel Arriaga, a Desert View High School senior and basketball standout, was shot in the back of the head at a park on the south side in January of 2024.
On the other end, she called me frantically, screaming that she didn't know where he had got shot. She just knew he was shot and that I needed to get to where he was at.
The suspected shooter was just 16 years old at the time, Derek Hernandez Buriel. He took a plea deal and faces up to 20 years in prison. He is scheduled to be sentenced later this month.
At every 10 o'clock news show, do you know where your kids are? Do you know? Because parenting is really a big issue when it comes to youth violence.
Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos says confronting the county's crime crisis can't come from arrests alone. It requires a twofold solution: more parental involvement at home and strong prevention programs in schools. His deputies believe starting young is key to breaking the cycle of violence.
Well, the biggest thing is to have those experienced SROs in the schools that could see those indicators of gang violence.
School resource deputies say their mission isn't just enforcement. It's building trust before kids ever make a life-altering choice.
I make it kind of my goal to befriend them and to talk with them and to start to mentor them and to try to find out, to try to gain information on what's going on in the school. And the only way you could really do that is if you are approachable.
The department also stresses community outreach and showing teens a different path. Maria Rodriguez, who worked in corrections before joining the sheriff's department, says she saw too many young lives wasted behind bars.
Seeing all those young kids, man, you have a whole future ahead of you and you want to do dumb things and ruin your life.
Tonight, we take your questions straight to Tucson's police chief and the Pima County Sheriff. News 4 Tucson's Monica Garcia has it all.
These are our concerns straight from our viewers, people who say they've lost confidence that help will come when they call 911. Tonight, we took those questions to Tucson's police chief and the Pima County Sheriff.
I certainly hear that when I'm out in the community of, Chief, why call? Nobody's going to come.
From slow 911 response times to repeat offenders back on the streets. Many of our viewers tell us they've stopped reporting crime altogether, believing help won't come. Tucson Chief of Police Chad Kazmar says his officers are focused on crimes that impact you the most.
That's about a 10% increase over what we had last year. So in fact, people are reporting. So if you call tonight and somebody's breaking into your house, now these are averages. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's slower. The most critical instance we respond to is going to be about 6-minute response time. So it just depends. So for a level 3, you're gonna wait an average of about an hour and 37 minutes, and for a level 4, you're gonna wait about an average of 2 hours and 24 minutes.
We brought the same issue up to Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos.
So how can residents be confident that when they call 911, someone's actually going to pick up the phone and respond?
We are working with a program with the city. Say there's a really bad situation going on, maybe it's a school shooting, and everything's being tied up, those calls will transfer to the city. Same with the city. They have a really bad situation and it's just getting so overloaded, they can transfer to us.
For many in Tucson, it's not just about how quickly law enforcement responds, it's about what happens next. Residents say they are seeing the same faces committing the same crimes.
Chief, many people are saying that they're seeing the same offenders over and over again. Many people tied to the unsheltered crisis. What is being done to stop the cycle of repeat offenders?
Officers are as frustrated as a committee at times when we're seeing the same repeat offender. We can't figure out a way to disrupt the behavior. So we're over 113% increase in our misdemeanor narcotics arrests year to date over a 5-year average. So we are overwhelming the other systems. Now, we have felony charges, but if the county attorney's office can't sustain the workload that we're providing to them and those cases are being dismissed, which we know they frequently are, that's not an effective use of our resources and time. So do we need another tool, right, in our ecosystem of tools to have a different outcome?
The chief points to the Safe City Initiative, a federal effort to improve accountability across police, prosecutors, and the courts. But that only works if every part of the system follows through.
Are you concerned that the county attorney's office is not prosecuting cases?
So, yeah, I tell my team, I remind my team always that, look, you do your job and do it to the best you can. and allow others to do their job.
911 calls to the courtroom. Law enforcement leaders say rebuilding trust starts with follow through. And for families still waiting on help, that change can't come soon enough. Monica Garcia searching for solutions.